everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm going to wait a few seconds to make sure that the live page catches up with us. So if you'll just hold on here for a moment with me. Without a hitch. So if this is your first time, I'm going to give a little overview here about how you can access our page. If you're on the YouTube watch page on the right-hand side of the screen, you should see a chat window that will allow you to post questions and concerns as they come up. Okay, if everyone can hear, can you go ahead and just introduce yourself in the chat and just let us know your name and okay, I'm not seeing any posts come through. Hopefully you guys can hear me, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to share my screen here. I did post the slides in the chat if you want to follow along with us. I'd also want to point out that I cannot see the chat page once I'm in and screen sharing. So right now I can, but once I get into my slide, I'm not going to be able to see chat. So if you have any questions, please just hold on to end and I'll address them once I'm able to see that. Okay, so thank you again for joining the Research Information Session webinar with us tonight. We're really excited to have you. So the purpose of this webinar is to tell you everything that you need to know about participating in research for this upcoming academic year. A quick overview here about what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the requirements for participating. So for this year, if you've previously completed a PD and you've received your certificate of completion or participation, you can participate in research. So whether you did it 2018, if we just got done, or if you did it last year or future or previous years, excuse me, you're welcome to participate in research for us. Then we're going to talk about what participating in research means and where you can locate all the resources you're going to need. So this group is unique because we have people who are joining us from the summer 2018 who have never done this before, and we have some people who participated with us when we were funded by the National Science Foundation, and they participated in research in previous years. So there's some changes if this is your second or third year participating. So we are no longer going to require the student pre-survey. So in the past, we asked teachers to issue a pre-survey to all of their students before Unit 2. We are no longer going to do that. And the reason for that is we are moving to a retrospective post-survey. So students will still need to do the post-survey, but there's no pre-survey requirement. And also, we are not requiring you to enter your Create 1 or Explore 1 scores. We are only requiring Create 2 and Explore 2. And also, if you participated with us last year in the online format, you're not required to do your video task. We have added one component, which is student assent, and that is required by the College of St. Scholastica IRB, so Institutional Review Board, for us to do research. They are now requiring student assent. So you will have a student consent form that if a student's under 18, they'll take that home to their parent and guardian, and a student assent. And again, that is required by the College of St. Scholastica, so we need both of those forms. And also, as we're no longer under our NSF grant, we're not offering stipends for participating in research. So if you choose to participate in research with us, it's 100% up to you, and there's going to be no compensation. So the academic year expectations, you can volunteer to participate, and if you're going to participate in research with us, you need to contact us before October 1st if you're teaching in a full year or fall, and before February 1st if you're a spring semester. And the reason why we have those cutoffs is because it's made it really difficult in the past to keep up with everything that's going on. So we really need you to let us know that ahead of time so we can get your grade book set up. If you contact us after those dates, you're still going to be able to use the past assessments, but they're PDF, so you have to issue them yourself, print them off, issue them yourself, and grade them yourself. So if you want to participate in research and have us grade those assessments for you, you need to contact us by those dates. So if you're new to research, you're probably wondering, well, what does this entail? So as I hinted at earlier, there's a consent form that you'll need to print off, and all your students, if they're under the age of 18, will need to take home to their parents and have sign. And there's a student assent form. So this is just what we need to be able to use the research data that you're giving us. So those are required. Since we're no longer doing that pre-survey, there's not as strict of a deadline, but you do need to get that to us before they complete their midterm. And I will add, if you choose to participate in research, I will add you to a Google group, and you'll be able to see the deadlines, and you'll get reminders about that. You'll submit your midterm grades and your performance task, create 2 and explore 2, a final exam, a student post survey. So I'm going to talk about the midterm and the final a little bit more on the next slide, but your performance tasks are in there, and you'll have a grade book, and I'll show you everything that looks like and how you're going to submit data to us. But those are the pieces and the overview there. And the final part is we're going to ask you to complete a teacher survey, and this is at the end of your course. You get it via email, and if you could take the time to do that, that would be great, because we use all of the information, well, not all of the information, but your feedback that comes off that survey is what directly informs our curriculum changes. And so if there's something that you want updated or you want to share your opinion about, the teacher end of course survey is really the place to do that. And like I said, we do use that information to inform the changes we're making in our curriculum. So you have to submit all these data pieces. What are you getting in return? Well, if you submit your data, Mobile CSP in return will issue our midterm and our final exam to your students. And I'll show you how that all works here in a moment, but that's issued electronically. Each student is assigned an individual password. They go on to the assessment, they complete it, and then we grade and score that for you. So you don't have to worry about anything. It's all set up and all done. You get your grades and your score back, and you can issue that to your students. We grade every Tuesday and Thursday. So if your students take that exam Tuesday morning, you're going to have your results right away at the end of the day. If there's something that comes up where we're not able to meet the Tuesday, Thursday, we typically send a message out and just give you a heads up. So if you issue it a Wednesday, you'll get it Thursday. So you can see there, it's really nice. Our teachers really like it. We've got lots of great feedback about it. And our midterm and our final exam, we aim to have those align with the AP CSP exam. So it's great practice for your students, and it is for your students. And it's also just one less thing that you have to worry about. So if you complete the grade book, which I'm going to show you, you'll get those issued and graded for you. And we also offer you support throughout the academic year. So if you just completed the 2018 PD, you're going to have master teacher meetings, optional meetings every month that you can go to get support and ask questions. And also we have webinars like this one that talk about things like the AP audit process, or how do I implement flipped classrooms in my curriculum, or what do I do about stereotype threat? And our webinars address those components. And we also talk about lessons that students may be struggling with. So that's another form of support that you can get if you choose to participate in research. And the final part is, and everyone who signs up for it, the teaching forum, and proves their teaching status has access to this, but the forum is a great resource, and being registered for the forum is what gives you access to PDFs. So if you choose not to do research with us, you will have previous year's exams that you can issue to your students, but they're PDF, and you're responsible for grading those. So I'm going to take you into an example grade book here and show you what it looks like. Now that we know what you need to do for research, how do you do it? So everyone will get a grade book that looks like this. It's a folder in Google Drive. It'll have your first name and last name at the top. And in the grade book, so this top level folder is what we refer to as the grade book, there's a folder for your consent and assent forms. So you'll need to upload those and give those to us, and that's where you upload them. And then we also have a spreadsheet, and this is where you upload all of your information. So I've gone ahead and I've put some random stuff in here as an example. I've used our team members over here on the left. So when you get this, this will be blank. None of this information will be here. This is your responsibility to fill out. So you'll enter your students' first names here. The Gmail and the Google sites are optional for you. That's just a tool that you can use if you want to put their information there so it's all in one place. We don't require that. It's just something like a convenient little location for you. Also, so the headings up here in blue are stuff that mobile CSP will complete. So once you've uploaded your assent forms, I'm going to come in here and mark whether or not the students agree to participate or not. It looks like I didn't agree to participate in research, sadly. But that is there. You can also use this as your gradebook. So you can see that even though I didn't agree to participate in research, my information is still here. What we do at the end of the year is I will look at this and I'll say, okay, Cassandra did not give permission, so that will get automatically deleted before it's included in any type of analysis. We'll just delete that right out. Your final exam and midterm scores, once they're available, will go right here so you can see. And then we also will have 2 tabs where you can see how students responded down here at the bottom, and then also what they scored on each individual question. I didn't include an example of what that looks like in there, but if you've done this in previous years, it's going to be a similar format. If this is your first year doing it, you can take a look at the final exam that you completed to see how we scored that and to see an example of that. The Create 2 and Explore Two, excuse me, the grades will be posted here. We do have a grading overview document to help you through that process. Final exam is the same as the midterm, that will be included here. And then the post survey is something that I will update at the end so you can see whether or not students did it. So all you really need to do at the beginning of the year is enter your student names, issue those consent and assent forms and upload them, and then just give us your performance task data at the end of the year. That's it. We grade your midterm and your final for you, and we upload the pre-survey information. So all this stuff at the end is to help me. So if the teacher dropped, or if the student dropped, please don't delete them from your gradebook. Just mark it as a yes there. Otherwise, it takes us a lot of work to run around and try to figure out where that information came from. These 4 columns at the end are information that I will generate, so you don't have to worry about that. When you first get your gradebook, all I need you to do is enter your student names over here on the left. This next tab is your survey and exam token. So this is how you'll issue your exams. So you'll get a link, and again, this isn't active, but you will get a link that's included up here at the top that you will be able to click on. And then each of your students have an individual personalized token that you'll need to distribute to them. So once this link is active, you'll be able to distribute that to your students, and then I would enter read 01 and Jen would enter read 03, and that allows us to link the student information. So that's it. That's the gradebook. There will be a tutorial available, so that goes a little bit more in depth to it. The next resource we have for you for the people who are participating in research is our teacher resource website. So if you did this last year, please know that this website has been updated for 2018. Some of the site pages like this outreach funding is not updated yet, but it has changed. So if you have done this in previous years, please take a look at it. And this is just a docking station, if you will, for you to come and look and all the extra resources mobile CSP offers. So we have stuff like app challenges. We'll ask people to update throughout the year that you can go in. Like I said, some of this information has dated yet, but the College Board resources is a great tab. We already have the audit course calendar and the mobile CSP syllabus linked right on this page, so you can go ahead and check that out. There's lots of other things here about recruitment and IT resources and our webinars, which I do want to point out. So if you miss a webinar with us, you can come to this page and you'll be able to see all of the webinars that we've done. There's also lots of stuff from last year that we talked about. So you can go ahead and take a look at that. Excuse me. So I want to point out this research overview here on the left-hand side. This is a drop-down menu, so if you don't see it, please click the arrow and you'll be able to access this. So the research overview just basically covers what I just talked about. So you'll be teaching, to participate in research, you need to be teaching the course in an AP or non-AP format. That's up to you. You're going to share student data with us. and then you're going to issue the electronic final exam. And in return, you get to use our latest midterm and final exam, which is issued electronically, and we grade it for you. There's some more information down here if you're not sure where to go. So our consent forms will be linked here. So right now we're currently working on updating our project with the College of St. Scholastica IRB. So I haven't linked those consent forms yet, but once the IRB is approved and everything goes through, the forms will be linked here. We will have an English and a student version of the assent form and consent form and letter, so you'll be able to access that. When you're doing this, you need to send your students home with 3 things. They need to have the student assent form, the consent letter, and the consent form. The consent letter just explains the project that doesn't need to be returned, but the consent form and the assent form need to be returned. Your students can complete the assent form right in class, but I'd recommend that you have them take it home to talk with their parent about it when this parent is doing the consent form. And then there's instructions down here about what you need to do with your consent forms. So you'll distribute the consent form and assent form, you'll collect them, and then you'll scan and upload them to your gradebook, and then I'll handle everything else from there. There's some collection tips and incentives down here at the bottom of the page. If you're having some challenging students to return them, you can look at that there. So issuing assessments, and I will have a tutorial later on in the year that will talk about this in more detail, but I just want to point it out now. This page explains how you'll issue your assessment. So as I just talked about, you'll the survey and exam tokens tab, and then you'll distribute the individual token to each of your students, and then they'll use the link to access the assessment. This is what the assessment will like when the student clicks on the link. They'll have a box for a password. They'll enter their password, and after they've done, they click the right button there. Once the PDFs are available, we'll have those linked here. These are the latest versions. So to get our latest version exam, you need to be participating in research. And I'm just going to repeat that again. To get the latest mobile CSP exam, midterm or final, you'll need to be participating in research. We do have previous year exams that are available for you to use in PDF, but to get these, you need to do research with us. So I will link these when available, but they will only be accessible to the people who are doing research. If you want to use previous exams, those are in the resource folder, and you can learn more about that in the curriculum. And then we have some frequently asked questions down here. And I will issue a refund, excuse me, not a refund. I will issue a reminder when it comes time for midterm about how to do all this stuff. We're just giving you a quick overview now. Your spreadsheet is that resource I showed you where you issue all of your individual student grade books. So this is a tutorial that walks you through where to find everything if you're confused and don't know where to go. Your gradebook will share that with you via email. I recommend that you bookmark that so you're able to access it. But if you ever lose it, you can come to this page and I will link the overview gradebook and you should be able to locate yours in there. Your gradebook is only accessible by yourself and the mobile CSP team. I'm not going to share that with another teacher or a principal or anything like that. It's just between you and the team. So if you're having issues with accessing that, please email us directly. Or if you want to add an email, please let us know. And this is just a reminder about what you need to include in your spreadsheet. I'd encourage you to take a look over this website again, and just a friendly reminder that we're still working on updating it. So if you see something that's outdated, feel free to let me know or check back in a week or so and I'll have that done for you. Okay, so if you're sold, you want to volunteer to do research, steps are you need to contact research@mobilecsp.org. The reason why I want you to contact me directly is some of the people who signed up for the webinar tonight may have decided that they don't want to do research. So I need you to email me directly and just let me know. And you can just send a simple email that says, I'd like to participate in research for the academic year. It doesn't have to be anything complicated, and I'll get you started on the next steps. And again, you need to do that if you're doing fall or full year before October 1st, or if you're doing spring classes, you need to do that before February 1st. And again, to get the latest assessments, you need to be participating in research. So I'm going to turn it over now for questions and concerns. I know that was a very quick overview, but I want to make sure this webinar was short and sweet for you guys tonight, give you plenty of time to ask questions. If you're feeling uncertain about anything, you can ask now, or you can send me an email. And just a reminder that we'll have tutorials out. So I'm going to end my screen share. And I'm going to switch gears over to the watch page. And I see that Pauline had messaged me. So if Pauline, you're out there, I'm sorry. I didn't see that before we began. So I'm going to scroll back here in comments. So just give me a moment to catch up with you. See lots of familiar names. Hi, guys. It's great to have you back. I see a question, are Explore 2 and Create 2 part of the curriculum? Yes. So those are requirements. If you're teaching in an AP format, that's what your students turn in to have figured into their AP score. But if you're teaching in a non-AP format, that's also in the course. So we'd like you to do that and submit that data to us. How do I access the new syllabus for College Board? Beverly, I just gave an example of that in the teacher resource website. Let me pull up the website here and I'll post the URL in the chat. We do have the new syllabus and the course audit calendar located under College Board resources. So I'd recommend that you guys bookmark the resource website. Hi, Jeanette. It's good to see you. Well, not see you, but hear from you. I think I scrolled through. I don't think I missed any other questions. I'll wait here just a moment and see if anything else comes through. I see a question about iOS. I'll do my best to answer this. I know that this has been, I'm sorry, I saw some other questions. Yeah, so iOS, they hope to have that done by the academic year, and hopefully there'll be some beta testing opportunities coming up soon, but I can't guarantee anything. If you want to email our info@mobilecsp.org account, and I'm going to post that email in the chat, you can email us and we'll be able to send you a little bit more information about iOS. I have not been working with that. Oh, okay, yes. So I sent out an email on the teaching forum a week or so ago about the change log. So when you go on to the page, there'll be a little pop-up window that comes up that reminds you about upcoming PDs. Sorry, I'm waiting for my computer to load here. And in that little pop-up window, there is a link to the change log, which explains everything that's new in the course this year. I'm trying to pull that up, but my internet's running just a little slow, so please bear with me for a second. Okay, here we go. So I'll put the link to all the changes, the change log, in the chat. And you can take a look at that and see what has been updated in the curriculum over the summer. Also, just a friendly reminder, I know I just said this, but I just want to repeat it again in case you didn't hear it. When you log into the course, there'll be a pop-up window that says PDs and curriculum updates, and then there's a little text under the button, and it says see the change log. It's kind of hard to see the link there, but if you click on the words change log, you'll be able to get that resource again. So if you need to come back and revisit that, you can see what our team's been working on this summer. Lots of exciting updates, lots of stuff going on. So please take a look at that before your course begins. Okay, so if you do decide to sign up for research, which I hope you do, so you can get those exams issued for you, I will my next step is I will be creating a grade book for you, and I'll send that out so you'll have a chance to look at it and play around. I am off tomorrow, but I will do that when I return Thursday. So you should hear from me by the end of the week about your grade book. It typically takes me just a little bit of time to get that out. So if you send me an email and I'm not in the middle of anything, I typically get your grade book done by the end of that day. So if you have a course coming up soon and you want to get that information, please email me. Doing research with us and you want that support from your master teacher, go ahead and reach out to them and see if they're willing to accommodate you. Okay, I'm going to do a final call for questions just because my internet's running a little slow and I want to make sure I didn't miss anyone. But if you feel good and you don't have any other questions, you can go ahead and sign off. And thanks for joining us. I'm going to stay on for about another minute just to make sure that I'm not missing anything with the lag in between the video and the feed. Thanks, everyone.